This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users a $1,000 no sweat bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Factor Meals. Head to factormeals.com/SGPN50 and use code SGPN50 to get 50% off.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. You got to save that energy for Eagles Niners week, Sean. This is a college basketball episode.
Yes, and I'm bringing a ton of.
Oh wow!
I'm bringing a ton of energy. Joining us here, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
Feast week. We feasted.
Yes.
Wait, who's feast week is coming or in the past?
I mean, look. Unfortunately, no one's in charge of college basketball because we should have day games going right now. Instead, let's just load up and go.
What do you mean?
Head to head with Monday Night Football.
Do you need a? It sounds like you need another email address to contact the head of college.
Please,
basketball?
folks, if anyone knows,
Folks, I'm asking you, folks, can you please? You sound like my grandpa trying to get a hold of the electric company. Folks, I need to talk to PP&L about our power issue.
I did. Hey, shout out to I am in contact with one of the rules experts for the NCAA.
Oh, Dean Blandino.
No, see that you wish. I mean, that's one of the biggest mysteries.
Son of a bitch, Dean Blandino,
Him
former open mic night. Now all of a sudden he's in charge of officiating.
Not even qualified. Never been a ref. This is what a world we live in. What a world we live in.
Worth retelling the story because I feel like I mentioned it on our show, Ryan, and I was texting it to you guys. But when I flew out to Vegas to hang out in Vegas for the week and enjoy Thanksgiving, on my flight going out Monday was the entire Pepperdine basketball team flying Southwest. It was kind of annoying because
out of Burbank.
Yeah, out of Burbank. And then you would think LAX would be closer.
Yeah,
at least to Malibu.
Probably simpler to go through.
Yeah, and they of course got the exit row seats. These dudes are like 6'8", 6'9".
That had to piss you off.
It did. But while I was sitting there, I was wearing all my Eagles stuff because it was Monday. They were playing the Chiefs that night. Of course, they won. That's what the Eagles do. Now, a guy walked by me, one of the assistant coaches. I don't think it was the head coach, but he walked by me, gave me a "Go Birds" because I'm wearing my Eagles stuff. I'm like, "Go Birds." And I go, how do you guys gonna beat the UCI? You gonna take them down? He's like, that's the plan. And immediately I go, no confidence. I'm hammering the Anteaters as soon as this plane lands in Las Vegas. I did. I cashed.
I mean,
Irvine's a bucket, man. Look out.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder. You're out there in Malibu. Are you really focusing on basketball? You could have also. I was surprised that you did not tell them that. Hey, just so you know, LePepe is gonna fuck you guys up. All right,
LMU, look out, baby.
They're in the same conference.
Well, when UNLV worked them, and that I had Pepperdine in that matchup. When UNLV worked them, I was like, don't feel great about them as a program right now. Was probably gonna fade them anyway, and then that little lack of confidence. But I mean, I'm looking at a record page, and this is insane. I don't even want to talk about it because the insane heater the show is on.
Do we have funeral music?
Funeral music? I don't think so. This is probably
it was a Black Friday for the Discord last week.
Oh my God. So the consensus plays we gave out, aka picks we all agree on, we give the opposite to Discord. Discord went 0-9, which means we went on picks we agreed on at 9-0. Colby bringing up the rear with a disappointing 9-4. I got 10-3, hit both my locks. Kramer with an 11-2. I mean, these are insane.
Well,
Lock percentages 70, 80, 90.
In fairness, Colby was 69%. So maybe there was something
Nice.
intentional there.
He was going for something.
Which, by the way, Colby now has the worst percentage picking games on the show at 67%.
That's insane.
42 and 21.
Well, and in some of these even like I remember for the UCI game, we picked it at -5. And they covered the 5, but the line ended up being like 1.5 because I bet it in Vegas.
This is what kills
because
me.
it was the back-to-back. That one was a tough line to foreshadow because they were playing a game the night before, which was the Pepperdine Wave. So you don't know how that's going to affect it, whatever. So we were even 3.5 points off and still covered the alt.
Well, that's what's hilarious is we've adjusted to thinking that these lines, because they're made up, are off, when I feel like they've been released. They've been closer to what we thought.
Yeah, well,
originally,
some of the times it works against us. Every once in a while, maybe we catch a break on these, but for the most part,
if someone wants to track it for us, I'm sure we're directionally correct on all of these, or at least the majority of them. Which, as you know, Sean, that's a sign of a true sharp. You didn't even bring up the fact that I somehow got my lock wrong. I went 11-2 and I somehow got a lock wrong.
That is pretty. How does that happen? You got your lock and your dog wrong, and you went 11-2.
You misgraded that.
What did I misgrade?
I did get my dog.
Oh,
right.
you did. Okay.
Because I didn't have any dogs, if you remember, and you
right.
guys
You
made
gave
fun
out-
of me,
yeah.
and I gave out a 2-leg parlay,
You hit.
and I hit. So you guys can go screw yourself.
Brian
Favorites for the win.
Ryan did go 11-2, giving out all favorites.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's
Well, here's what
fucking
pisses
crazy.
me off.
Yeah.
Here's what pisses me off. I have this like betting paradigm and framework in my head where NFL units are this big and college basketball units are this big.
Yeah.
I'm pissed that the unit sizes.
I know.
I need to reverse the unit. Although I did have a decent, considering the football, the way the public shredded in NFL, I did do well. But yeah, I mean, this is 0-9 for the Discord, 8-30-1 on the season. Is this? Do you think the Discord, any payday loan guys in the Discord? Because I think some of these guys. And by the way, Sean, we don't give it to them; they take it.
Yes.
If you remember, they took these picks because they said fade these idiots. All right, you want to talk some games?
Yes, I do. Before we get to that, let's talk Bet365. Bet365 hooking up our listeners with $1,000 risk-free bet, and or bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets, and you can claim that by scanning the QR code here on the YouTube or signing up on the link in our bio. Plenty of ways to get that bonus. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365 and Bet365. Tons of great lines. If you like first touchdown bets, some of the touchdown scoring prices are super generous. Great prices overall. Great customer service. Very easy to deposit and withdraw. They even have the early payout offer in the National Football League if your team goes up 17 points. Plenty of ways to win over at Bet365. Very good book. Been getting some great feedback for people who have signed up over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. And remember, problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're also brought to you by Little C's, aka Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the National Football League. Make Little Caesars part of your game day. And it's not official with college basketball, but I will say it also pairs perfectly with some college hoops. Shout out to Ryan. I'm pulling up the gentleman who looks to be a Browns fan. Here, I'm pulling up his name right now. CMX on Twitter at CJK Law. Closest I'll ever get to being Jim Brown, and he is holding. He's wearing a Jim Brown jersey, holding 4 hot and ready Little C's.
Don't fumble.
Nah, hold on. And I was gonna break down. You got to get 2 hands on the pizzas. You want to keep those things hot. Keep those things ready. Get that pretzel crust. Love me some Little C's, and of course the pretzel crust pairs perfectly with the pepperoni piled high with that sweet, salty meats and those awesome chunks of salt on the pretzel crust. You cannot beat it. Get delivery or in-store pizza portal pickup. So grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars pizza.
If we could get some NFL Films music just set to carrying the pizzas in the Jim Brown.
Well, now my brain associates that with the NFL slot machine, so it is just.
I also
my pleasure centers are overloaded.
If we could get someone on the
Dr. Phil was right.
If we could get someone on the graphics team to update my new profile picture, I was thinking that instead of the Little Caesar holding the slice of pizza, we can change it to the, as the world is calling it now, Italian hands. So I don't know if you guys have any take on that, but what if it's Little Caesars? We got the spear in the left hand, and instead of the right hand holding a slice, it's doing this.
Yeah,
so someone can work on that. I'll update my profile picture. Which, by the way, Little Caesars has yet to reach out to me directly since I've changed my profile picture.
Yeah, come on, Little Caesars, show Kramer some love.
Jesus, I mean, I'm also Italian American, so I mean, feel free to ride the wave that is Tommy DeVito. I see some football chatter in the chat, Sean. I see some basketball chatter. I also see some Little C's chatter. That's awesome. Quick shout out before we get started. We got let's see here, an anonymous hamster. Hopefully this hamster is not a friend of Richard Gere's. Some older folks might understand.
That is a disgusting act.
Be wary. We have an anonymous crow in the sheet right now. As you know, Crow's very clever, very crafty.
Get those sheets, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon.
Yeah, and maybe you too can be an anonymous creature. Southern Illinois, the Salukis, they head to Indiana State. This is a classic small school battle. No surprise we're talking about it. The Salukis, which we learned through the FCS experience, it's a race dog. They take on what is Indiana State? The Sycamores. Which is probably another stupid tree school. I'm guessing. Nothing like a tree running around your sideline. Indiana State, again, these are the Pick Dundee numbers. College basketball originator. Indiana State laying 5 here in Terre Haute, Indiana. Basketball state.
Oh yeah.
Who's the most proud basketball state? Is it Indiana? Is it North Carolina?
I think probably North Carolina now. Indiana was prior, but like I feel like when the Baltimore Colts sold their soul and went to Indianapolis, and then the Pacers and Reggie Miller.
You didn't think you would be able to get to dome football by asking
it's a
simple basketball
What do they
question.
call it? A barn. I mean, is a barn a dome?
Dude, I've been to that fucking filthy stadium there in Lucas Oil.
Is where Indiana plays a dome?
No.
Okay.
They used to play at the Hoosier Dome for a little bit though.
You want to get some
back in the day.
Of that. All right. I have not seen either of these teams play this year.
Let me tell you, the Missouri Valley way the fuck up this year.
MV.
How many teams over under?
Well, I mean the system will fuck them, but I mean
2.5 teams under.
Dude, they're like everyone is good right now in the MVC. Ivy's way up too. I'd say SoCon Ivy.
Danger. Colby loves the small conference. We got to be very careful.
No, I'm saying just way better than normal. I normally hate the Ivy because they cancel basketball seasons, but you gotta. I'm watching thus far. I'm just like, whoa, they're way better than normal. Maybe they got some NIL money going around.
Indiana State leading the country in effective field goal percentage. That's bonkers. They can't get an offensive rebound to save their life. They don't play a lick of defense. I guess it's just my handicap is can Southern Illinois play enough defense, clamp down? I mean, that's the problems. I don't think Southern Illinois' defense is that good. I think you gotta just keep riding in Indiana State, even though it's chalky.
Larry Bird's alma mater. I'm with you. I think this game's this is arguably the best game on the whole entire slate, in my opinion. And
of course it is. That's why you have it first.
Well, no, that was just time. That was time.
No, it's the 6-pack.
I feel like Indiana State at home is probably going to get it done. Another thing, Southern Illinois won the last matchup last year, so a little bit of a revenge spot.
Right. Yeah, I like it. Revenge factor.
Is this a true rivalry?
Yeah, I mean they've been playing for a long time. This one counts. I don't know if it's their quote unquote top rival, but.
Just for states that border each other, you don't hear too much about the rivalry. Here's what I would say: be wary of the team that defends the 3-point line well when you require the 3-point shot. Give me Southern Illinois.
Wow!
Simple.
Shout
systems.
out to Stone.
Simple systems. I'm also a big Stone guy. Love when he slides in my DMs with a Stone hot take.
Hot stones.
Always
throwing stones.
Hot stones. I like that. That's what I mean. Just Sure.
I had some Wagyu on the hot stone. Went to Nobu over the.
Is that not one of the better dishes you can order in Las Vegas?
It is. So they put these super hot rocks and then they take this Wagyu beef and throw it on there. It's delicious.
Did you get it as the surf and turf option?
Because
if you've not been to Nobu, they always have an off menu item that is the Wagyu that you ordered with a surf option, and it's usually some rotating type of like awesome lobster. Highly recommend it next time you go. And yeah, so hot stones cooking that meat. Cincinnati heads to DC to take on Howard, the alma mater of Gus Johnson, our Lord and Savior.
Maserati Marv.
That was the first time I felt like he was going to the same well one too many times. It would have been like if he used the Chris Johnson's got running away from the cop speed multiple times in that game. So many years ago.
He's the only one pushing the Maserati.
Do you remember when he got he had to apologize? He's getting away from the cop speed. I apologize for my Cincinnati's laying 8 here against Howard. The Bison.
Kudos to them playing at a mid majors home stadium.
Why I don't understand why teams don't do more of this for recruiting purposes. I know it's new school and like everything's national, but you go to a place like DC, you go to a place like New York, you can find plenty of schools there to play you, and it gives you an excuse to get into that city. I think for certain things it doesn't matter, like country shit, but for city stuff, why not? So Cincinnati, we might have to circle this as is this a potential recruiting get up spot for the Bearcats?
I don't know. Wes Miller's got them playing pretty good though. I was a skeptic of that hire, but it seems like this year maybe it's easy to see that tide turn.
Is Howard is this a get up spot for Howard? Are they gonna be nuts? Is it gonna be lit?
Howard's good. Their 3-4 record's a little deceiving. They should have won at Georgia Tech. They lost by 3 at Georgia Tech, and then they ran into the buzzsaw that is James Madison.
Well, just to be clear, Georgia Tech just got their shit pushed in by 34 points against the same Cincinnati
Howard was
team.
up the entire time against Georgia Tech and lost in the final minute of that game.
I'm just saying, it's rare you have a common opponent this early in the season.
True, but it's also rare that Howard hosts a P5 at their home stadium.
Yeah, like is this?
Yeah.
They're gonna get their ass kicked.
I'm riding the Bison.
No,
Give me the +8. Let's go,
Sean. If I could ever warn you about something, this is no different than I walked in.
You hit the road, you lose in college sports, buddy.
This is no different than when I said, you should look into Charlie Kohler on the Ravens the other day. It didn't work out, but we were on the right side.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
You got to
-8.
Take the Bearcats first year in the conference.
Colby clearly just wants to reward a Power 5 for.
I'm from the great city of Washington D.C. and Ben's Chili doesn't put up with that bullshit Skyline chili. All right.
Wow. Well,
shout out to Ben's Chili in Washington D.C.
Battle for the chili.
I saw Cam Kerr was saying that he was going to order some Skyline chili if the Steelers scored 30 points. Guess he'll be waiting on that Skyline chili. It does seem like the kind of novelty food that was cooked up in like a dorm room. It reminds me of the food you would get at the grease trucks on the campus of Rutgers, except for somehow Skyline chili is a delicacy. Yeah, you lay the points here. First year in the conference, and Colby mentioned a name earlier. Since we're still early in the season, worth pointing out. Wes Miller, coach you referenced.
Yeah.
We loved him when he was at UNC Greensboro.
I just loved Greensboro's culture, not necessarily him.
Who builds the culture?
Yeah.
The coach.
Well, but I mean, they've been good for like 20 fucking years. Yeah.
Good to see them in the Big 12. We're laying the points. Colby's being a donkey. Or I should say a bison. Mississippi State heads to Atlanta, Georgia to take on Georgia Tech. We just talked about them. They played both Howard and Cincinnati. Now they take on Mississippi State. Hail State, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Mississippi State. I don't think I mentioned it, but since he was laying 8, Mississippi State's laying 4.5 here against Georgia Tech. The wake left behind by pussy ass Josh Pastner,
who's on ESPN now.
Cannot be. Yeah, what is that about? I will say this: a little bit of who was the coordinator for Bill Belichick that randomly was good on TV, like Charlie Weiss or one of those guys.
Mangini.
Yeah. A little bit of Pastner vibes there, where he's clearly you can see how
Tony Soprano called him man genius in that Sopranos episode.
Yeah. Shout out to Italian Americans. Now that Tommy, too bad Eric Mangini isn't coaching.
Dago Dimes.
I think the situation here is very clear that Georgia Tech sucks. So how bad do you want to lay points on the road?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Chris Jans, Mississippi State ahead of schedule, 6-0 for a reason. They're battle tested. They played a bunch of P5s. They're gonna go.
What's that?
Oh, Hail State.
Mississippi State has really good defense, which is a bad matchup for Georgia Tech's horrible offense. They're like the Iowa of college basketball right now.
They are.
You cannot. Do you remember the times we bet on them last year? A little bit of like poor man's Arkansas vibes, where you're just like, holy shit, guys! How did you don't know how to score basketball?
It is frustrating.
You don't run any offense. It's just athletes making plays.
Well, Colby, what was that game? It was BYU Arizona State.
The other night.
The other night I was in Vegas. There was like one late game on. I'm like, Colby, what should I do? BYU Arizona State. You're like, Arizona State's getting 10. I'm like, awesome. They start out, they score 7 points, and then it was the craziest run of missed shots in my life. Like, I mean, BYU wasn't hitting a shot. Arizona State wasn't hitting a shot. There was I think they had like shot 15% from the field. They were 0 for 7 from the free throw line in the first half. How does that happen? You're a Power 5 school.
Yeah.
How can you go 0 from 7 from the free throw line?
That was a bad loss. That was
the rec league team we were on. We would hit free throws. It's the same fucking shot. It's the exact shot. Same stripe, same hoop, same basketball.
Here would be the bet. I've been thinking about this, but you shoot 100 free throws.
Yeah.
We set a percentage mark, and every point you're below it is something happens, and every point you're above it. I feel like if you set that bar at 70% for me, I'd be very confident to say I'd go over. Maybe even $100 a percentage point. I think I would. I think I could.
Is this the new 40
field goal?
Yeah, this is the new 45-yard field goal.
Wow.
Did hit a 45-yarder.
No. Feel free to put your body.
NFL slot machine.
Feel free to put your guy's body on the line at any point ever. You've had 13 years. You've had 13 years to do it. Let's move on.
I'm gonna risk it all at the free throw line. Doon.
Oh yeah, no.
You going underhand Rick Barry stuff?
No fingers to point when it's just you on an
8 mile
island.
playing while Kramer lines up a.
Oh, I 100% again. Feel free to put yourself on the line. I think your number's wrong here, Colby.
For what?
I think
for
this
what
is going to
game?
close higher than 4.5. So
Okay.
this is where
Make
I say
it
how high do you take it?
Probably 6.5.
Okay.
Probably at 7 or 8, just because I feel like the other Jackets
rarely do you see massive differences in projections this early in the season, but for example, Bart Torvik has this as a 4.3 point difference. Ken Pom has it as a 12-point difference. So, no shocker here. Take the team that plays defense and can't play any offense. Georgia Tech sucks. LSU heads to Cuse, upstate New York, kinda 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Syracuse laying a point. Sean.
I mean, they're shooting. Syracuse is shooting 25% from behind the arc. Buddy Boeheim doesn't have 1 year left. Come on, man, get him back there.
He's out, man. Coach is out.
I know.
You know,
can we get someone just to wear a Boeheim jersey so Sean can get back in there?
Yeah, come on,
maybe
give me something.
Maybe Autry can just pick some boogers at half court, and that'll fit in.
This is an interesting matchup.
This is a very interesting matchup, and I'm worried about the road travel, but I kind of think LSU's been more impressive thus far.
I mean, Cuse has gotten their ass beat by the two good teams they've played, so it's hard to take anything away because the teams are really good. I mean, Tennessee going to be there at the end, and blanking on the other team they already played, but
LSU did lose to Nichols, but ever since then I feel like they've been playing.
SEC
better.
Teams have to lose to a bad team. They also lost to Dayton.
Nice win against Wake.
Dayton's solid though
on the road.
LSU's only played 3 home games. Interesting.
And well, this is at that filthy Carrier Dome too. So
I'll take the dog. I'll take the talent of LSU.
I will too. I think they're.
I think Syracuse.
Up.
Yeah, have you watched Syracuse play?
I have.
Not very good. I mean, they've played New Hampshire, Canisius, and Chaminade, all teams that are like well outside the top.
Canisius is not bad.
Okay, and Colgate. But again, they haven't exactly faced any sort of real competition, and when they have, they've lost by 20 points. So LSU might be.
Are we concerned about that travel though?
Yeah, of course.
Where do you fly into to get to Syracuse?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm going Syracuse.
Hopefully they're not
Buffalo.
I know LSU has been good on the road, or at least decent, but This you still got to bring it to come into the Carrier Dome. And to Colby's point, like LSU
the culture's changing up there, Sean.
Is it?
Yeah. You can't even sell. I mean, you're even trying so hard that you bleed orange, and you might have to dip out. This isn't the same team, Sean.
Yeah, no,
they don't shoot 3-pointers well.
This is a tough travel holiday weekend, getting all the way up to upstate New York from LSU.
Syracuse does not defend the 3-point line. They don't shoot 3-pointers. That's
small sample size.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's go, Cuse. Give me Cuse. Lane 1.
It only took a couple weeks, and Sean's back.
I'm back,
Cuse.
baby. Right. Come on, there's someone that listens to this show from Syracuse. Hook me up with the Cuse jersey.
There's a new school to college basketball called Lemoyne, the Dolphins that are out of Syracuse. They're out of Syracuse, New York too. They might be the best team in Syracuse.
Oh shit! Colby.
The nearest airport to Syracuse is Syracuse. They have a small airport there. Also, there's an airport in Ithaca, Rochester.
It's got to be
Albany.
a great flight from Baton Rouge up to Ithaca. That's. I'm guessing there's not a lot of direct flights.
Benedict,
that's LSU. You don't think they got special funds to help the basketball team travel around?
Benedict Dantel's asking why Portland State didn't make it. Look, I try to TMZ it up for this episode. So
you want to listen? You want to hear about those shit
Providence,
teams? Go listen to his shit show.
I put Providence in there to TMZ it up. Trust me. My eyes will be glued on the Portland State.
Don't want to
game.
tease it, but we're talking Wagner, not Portland State. Come on, Colby doesn't respect West Coast basketball. Notre Dame. Wait, so Colby and I are on LSU. Sean is being a homer. Yep. Can someone just send Sean a Boeheim jersey?
Yeah,
they're probably like falling off the shelves now. No one wants them.
I do.
Yeah, send him one. If you're a fan of Syracuse and you have Syracuse swag and you haven't already mailed it, you're not a real fan. Notre Dame heads to Columbia, South Carolina to take on the Cox.
Shout out to Kaysen in the YouTube chat saying my middle school girlfriend went to Syracuse. I'll see if I still have her number on my BlackBerry. Appreciate that, Kaysen.
Sick that you rock a BlackBerry. I've been thinking about making the switch too, Sean, but I hate change. Notre Dame heads to South Carolina.
I like that physical keyboard.
Yeah.
When are pagers coming back? I still want the pager world.
Do you remember when the
like
Apple had to figure out how to make the phone vibrate in a way that felt like a keyboard to deal with people's inability to change? I love it. Notre Dame, Columbia, South Carolina, taking on the Cox of South Carolina. The Cox are laying 10. It's a long number for those Cox against the. Oh wow! Do you think Notre Dame is going to be at all concerned about matchup with the Cox?
I mean,
little checkered history with the old Catholics and the Cox.
This is the Holtz Bowl, right?
I don't know. You keep the cock in your pants bowl.
Notre Dame, very bad offense, but they do hit their free throws 73.6%.
They're stapled to the floor. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting the staple sound effect. That is definitely on my to-do list.
It's almost funny if you say, wait, is it stapled or Velcro to the floor?
No, stapled. Okay. Stapled. This is at Colonial Life Arena. How could you? It's so offensive. No, this is in Columbia, South Carolina. Where Colonial, you can still say Colonial. Apparently, that's a tough.
It's an insurance company.
2023, you can't say Colonial,
but you can when it's Colonial Penn.
Colonial Penn. I think I almost have the entire commercial recognized or remembered verbatim because. If you're on a fixed income, a price you can afford, a price that allows because if you watch Forensic Files, Colonial Penn,
same commercials,
Colonial Penn, just the commercials run completely nonstop, and it cracks me up every time because almost every one of the murders happened because of life insurance, and then all the commercials are for life insurance. And also, it's great product placement.
The final comment in the Forensic Files would be like, yeah, if we didn't have that science available, we wouldn't have caught that murder.
Oh yeah, they always end the episode touting. And if it wasn't for forensics, we might not have cracked this case. They always want to make sure forensic science is the star.
Two most important things when you're dealing with like marketing to people with fixed income is remind them of their fixed income,
a price they can afford,
and then remember that they can afford this thing. It's just like those Viagra.
Price that doesn't change.
Those Viagra commercials, like you're on fixed income, you can't afford Viagra.
So another great one is like 50% of the times on a Forensic Files, the murders up in the air, like the cops are like, well, we weren't sure, and then we realized He called the life insurance company within the first 5 days.
They can't help themselves. They're like, all right, I'll wait 5 days, but by like day 6, they're like, I got to get that money.
This one guy was fucking genius in Newport Beach. He takes a boat out, says him and his wife were drinking. She fell off, couldn't find him, and I was like, you know what? He's got something. I think.
Be careful, Colby.
No, he was fantastic until he called the I thought it was a good angle for a murder. There's no witnesses out there.
They don't typically.
Kramer, remind us not to go on a boat trip with Colby.
They frown on being a fan of murderers, Colby. You can be a fan of sports thieves.
The guy was there was nothing.
It was a good plan.
And then what does he do? Three days into it. Hey, so you got that $500,000 under life insurance?
One of the
policy?
episodes we watched, it was like the cop was like, we wouldn't have figured it out, but the person who created the life insurance policy found it very odd the amount of times that they kept calling to.
Yeah. Well, that's what he does. He calls back again. And it's just like, what are you doing,
bro?
dude?
Don't. If she doesn't pick up, don't call her.
You're
back.
holding aces.
Yeah,
you're holding aces right now, and you're fucking it up.
What was the rule in college? You got to wait a couple days to call them back. Probably the same gimmick for life insurance.
Let them call you. Right?
All of that being said, I think ever since I watched the Gamecocks play Virginia Tech, it made me think that this is going to be a team that's going to excel against teams that don't defend the 3-point line. And I don't believe Notre Dame defends the 3-point line well. So.
They're okay. They're okay against the 3-point line. Isn't 10 points a ton?
That's
for
what I was
Notre
thinking.
Dame?
I mean, Lamont Paris and South Carolina are I like this team. I think they're going to be a tough out in the SEC, but that's a big number, man. And
I'm on the Irish.
Lamont Paris made us some good money at Chattanooga a couple of years back.
He did.
So I'll ride with him again. I do think again. I disagree with your take on Notre Dame's ability to defend the 3-point line. I don't think it's good. I think it's.
I don't think Notre Dame's good, but it's just 10 points.
Sure.
Could Carolina win by 7, 8, 9? You're good.
It's hard for me to take the plus team. You know that. Laying the points once again.
Oh, another favorite. Kramer's on no shacking.
Ding. Oh, I also keeping the Discord card light. I feel bad for them. I know they're probably going through some difficult times right now.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't signed up with Underdog Fantasy using the promo code SGPN, get that 100% deposit match up to $100. You're missing out because they have a college basketball fantasy pick'em. Are you kidding me? Love this. So we were taping this on a Monday morning. Utah at SMC. Late tip, Colby. Any players we should be looking at for fantasy pick'em? Raleigh. I mean, I love this guy's name, Raleigh Worcester. What's your take on Raleigh Worcester? I mean, it's crazy. You can do a pick'em with Raleigh Worcester's points, rebounds, and assists. 1.5 steals, 9.5 points.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. Do you like Worcester or no?
What was that?
9.5 points.
I would say give me lower.
So
lower on Worcester.
Yeah.
You're telling me you just scrolled right on past Boo Booey. He's got some.
What's the higher lower on Bowie?
Bowie's 18.5 points. Northwestern at NIU.
That's an in-state matchup here. I will take the lower here.
Okay, so I'm getting Raleigh Worcester lower 9.5 points. Boo Bowie lower 18.5 points, and that pays 3x. So if you put down 100, you would be getting paid out 300 over on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SGPN, of course, if that hits.
And if you love college basketball, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
Well, I was going to say, I'm scrolling through this, and not only like they're I don't remember fantasy points being there a couple weeks ago. I'm also seeing turnovers, steals, very specific things, and spicy options.
Yes,
so.
Love the spicy plays where you can amp up the payday. I mean, you can get a 5-teamer or a 5-pick one up to like 100x if you throw in some of the spicy plays.
All right, nice work. I would imagine if you follow the sport closely, you can crush these projections. Wagner. This isn't one of the brothers who plays in the NBA. Used to be pretty good at basketball. Now they just run around. And the NBA is a disgusting product at this point, Colby. Wagner heads to Providence, Rhode Island, to take on Providence. No longer with Ed Cooley, although I will say, impressed with Providence considering it's a little bit of a program reset. They're laying 17 here. I'm not sure why you gave us this game to talk about.
Well, it was a TMZ game for you. All right.
How is
Big
this
East
a TMZ
basketball
game?
Well, just the fact that Providence is playing. It's Big East will be nationally televised. I wanted Portland State, but I tried to,
the reality of what the Big East is doing in Fox is genius. The way they're presenting the Big East product, the way that they have a 3:30, an early tip to get the thing going.
How is Wagner this bad at shooting?
Oh,
I mean, I guess it is Wagner, but usually I feel like these small schools can actually hit some shots. They just can't play defense and don't have any size.
I think you take the points.
Like you're Staten Island. You can't find one kid who can hit a jumper. Like what the hell? You're shooting 38% from the field.
I grew up on the East Coast. Never once did I see a Seahawk.
Seahawk? Is that what their mascot is?
They're the Staten Island Seahawks.
I used to visit my buddy who went to school at Wagner, and they would refer to the Staten Island kids who went to Wagner as stat rats.
Oh, that's not a Wagner thing. That's anyone who's from Staten Island. You're a stat rat.
Stat rat, and he's like,
it's not a compliment.
No, but one guy really leaned into it.
People from Staten Island view it as a compliment. If you've ever seen that, I think it was Daily Show did a bit on Staten Island. Kind of sums up the vibe over there, but it's one of those few stereotypes that when you're calling someone by the name stat rat, you're being mean, but the person receiving it is saying thank you for the compliment. So go figure. And I would imagine they're big Tommy DeVito fans out there on the island. It's a big number.
You got to take it. Here's the logic. The Milwaukee Panthers are complete ass this year, and they only lost by 10 at the dunk here against Providence. Then you look at this team, the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh. They only lost by 14. I think Wagner's better than both of those.
Lehigh's a good program. And I would say Providence might be looking ahead towards the Rhode Island game.
Yes.
So they're not going to take Wagner seriously.
And keep an eye on Melvin Council. He can ball for the Seahawks. On the watch list? Yeah, he can play. Have you seen
a Seahawk on the East Coast? You grew up in a marine area.
I feel like I might have seen some borderline Seahawks out there on the Chesapeake. You know.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna take the points with you. This is kind of going against my system, but we're giving the Discord Providence.
Look out!
I don't know if I like that. It is a big number though. To your point, tune-up game. All right, 4:30 on the West Coast. Heading to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for a battle between the Panthers of Pittsburgh. And I mean, this is a cat-on-cat battle. Tigers of Missouri. Nice little football season for Missouri this year in the very down SEC. Pittsburgh in this one laying 6. Jeff Cable is basically like if they took after Humpty Dumpty falls off the wall and they glue him back together and put him on the wall. That's Jeff Cable. Just complete horrible coach. Probably hates the fact that Shire got the Duke job and he's never going to get it now. He's in purgatory up in Pittsburgh. And he may be the sharpest coach in the on campus because Narduzzi's there with him. So maybe he's not going anywhere. I can't lay points with Jeff Cable ever. It's in the book.
I mean, both teams play pretty decent defense. That would have me leaning towards taking Missouri, but Pittsburgh's defense on the offensive rebound, #1 in the nation as far as not allowing offensive rebound. If you can limit Missouri's extra possessions, that's huge. And Missouri's really bad at getting offensive rebounds. So if they can't get an offensive rebound, it's going to limit all their possessions, even though they, pretty good from the line. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Pittsburgh, I'm looking, but Pittsburgh only shoots 66.7% from the line. It's tough to take a team laying 6.
Size versus experience. That's what you're dealing with here.
I'll go Missouri and the 6. Colby, what are you doing?
I'm on Pitt. I think Missouri's lost a lot from a year ago. They're not very good. They almost lost to Loyola Maryland the last time. They did lose to Jackson State.
You're laying the points
easily.
All
easily
right.
here. Blake Hinson, Ishmael Leggett. They're too much for Pitt. And the fact it's at home. If it was in Columbia, maybe I'd buy into that. But the fact it's
I just don't want to get screwed by free throws at the end of this game. But I'll take Pitt -6.
It's major college basketball, and we have one team that is one of the tallest teams in the country in Pittsburgh, and the other team, which is one of the shortest teams in the country in Missouri. Do you know? So probably the expectation, and I'm sure maybe they'll play some more of their tall guys in this one. Missouri has a guy who's 7'5" and 7 foot on the roster. They don't appear to play very much. Outside of that, they have Aiden Shaw, who's 6'8". Again, doesn't play a ton. After that, Tallest guy is 6'6". When you look at the Pittsburgh starting lineup, they have multiple dudes who are taller than 6'6". This could really turn into a disaster for Missouri. So I guess I'll lay the points with Jeff Capel, but it sounds like a horrible thing to do.
Oh, we won him over.
Play that Benedict music.
It's because it's the favorite. It's just more
it's
comfortable.
enticing.
Miami heads to Lexington, Kentucky to take on a maybe basketball school in the Kentucky Wildcats.
College basketball reminds me how many cat related.
So many. Kentucky.
Once again, the unoriginal.
Yeah.
So many opportunities out there.
Give me a platypus. Kentucky laying 7 here. Probably pretty stoked. Calipari is that Mark Stoops is sticking around. He was probably hoping Stoops was going to leave for Texas A&M so he could be top man on the totem pole again.
Don't we always look to fade Kentucky early in the season? Miami, especially with this offense.
Oh, Larinaga.
Shoot the ball.
Well, I mean,
Larinaga keeps a good program.
So Kentucky probably should have beat Kansas and Chicago back on the 14th, and I think everyone was like, "Oh, this is the Kentucky team that they're gonna be legit." And then St. Joe's almost beat them on the 20th. Now they did look good against Marshall, the Thundering Herd.
I think Miami could be a live dog. Am I crazy?
I'm just a big fan of this Miami team, man.
Yeah.
Larinaga is a good coach. It's early season, good coach. I mean, no different than Kansas beating them. I don't know, Coach Cal, is he past his prime?
Well, his prime was getting 5 stars when
when you can pay for it.
Now that's legal. It's legal,
Everyone's
lost
doing
his
it.
edge.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll take Miami all day here. I think.
What's the number we're dealing here? 7.
Yeah, and that might be being generous. It might be like 8 because you know
think it'll be bigger?
They get the Duke treatment. You know what I mean? Kentucky gets that Duke treatment where it's always a little bit too much. Notre Dame in football. So. Yeah, I mean, look, Miami. Have you guys watched Miami this year, man? They're really good. Number 1 team
in the country with the three ball on offense.
Getting Matthew Cleveland to transfer over from Florida State was absolutely disgusting, but it was a great get as far as from a team standpoint. Also, Wooga Poplar, fucking.
I love Poplar.
Dog.
That's a great name.
Yeah,
that's a great name. Dog. You know what? Miami has a couple of good names, but I'm gonna add Wooga. Is it Wooga or Wooga?
Wooga.
Poplar.
Yeah,
I'm saying that right.
Is that a Star Wars character too? Yeah. What's our Star Wars character here? Larinaga. Larinaga is an old school Jedi, and what Calipari is one of the guys working on the evil side.
If you're watching or you watched the latest, like I'm kind of behind shit, but if you watched I'm blanking on the Ahsoka or whatever the latest. I think Calipari is the bad Jedi who sits on the horse and looks like the Dark Knight. He's
and Larinaga is like an old school Jedi, right?
Larinaga is.
He was like a Jedi like
Obi-Wan.
1,000 years ago.
He could be Obi-Wan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then he'll just disappear at some point and vanish into nothing, and we'll have to figure out where he went. Take the points with Miami. But yeah, I think specifically the 3-point line matchup could be huge here. So if they can get it going on the road in not their gym, I think they have a real good chance. Live dog, maybe.
I do.
Yeah.
I think they could be. Yes.
All right. Another one that Colby wants to shine a light on the underbelly of college athletics. We're heading to Birmingham, Alabama, where the Dragons of UAB take on McNeese State, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. UAB. Colby's dangling a 12.5 here. Wow. Big number for the Dragons. Have we gotten any update? Is there a dragon on the sideline?
No dragon yet, but I got a strong ass offer for you.
Oh, what's this?
I'm quoting Will Wade. He is. So check us out. I believe. So this is the 7th game for McNeese. I think Will Wade did he have a
McNeese is 5-2.
Yeah, Will Wade's their head coach.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm accurate on what I'm saying.
You think he's paying kids here?
He has a 10-game suspension, so he's not.
No.
He's not eligible to play yet. But his team is tough, man. Yeah.
Well, maybe
coach,
he's eligible to play.
Is it like the Harbaugh suspension where
he's
he's
getting some rebounds?
He's able to coach all the time except for games.
I think it might be like that. Right?
So he's coaching.
Yeah.
Well, that's the dumbest fucking suspension I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows anything about coaching, most of your coaching happens before the game starts. If you're doing all your coaching when the game starts, you're probably not a good coach. Why does anyone think this is a valid suspension? It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I want to know.
I would say with college basketball though, or basketball in general, I think being there and adjusting, subbing out and doing the minute stuff, maybe call. especially at college football, like once you have the game plan, once you have all your plays.
I've always wondered though, like, are they checking to see if you can get a text message?
No, come on, dude. And
like Harbaugh could just be like, "Run."
Who was
yeah,
that?
You don't think he has a burner that he's texting?
Come on.
You think Jim Harbaugh is just sitting in a hotel room with his hands crossed, looking at a TV? You're fucking an idiot. Come on, he's coaching.
All right, I gotta take the points though. Right?
McNeese State, yeah.
Just the fact this is a Will Wade coach team.
Although
tough.
they are horrific at the free throw line.
That's Will Wade. That's Will Wade basketball.
They're almost better at the three than they are at the free throw line. That's insane. They're 39.3% from behind the arc, 55.6 at the line. How is that possible?
I'm gonna let's raise you because it's always fun when we have these bottom dwellers. McNeese State is good, 359th in free throw percentage in the country. teams they are better than Utah Valley out of the WAC, Army out of the Patriot League.
What kind of discipline is that, Army?
And Eastern Kentucky out of the ASUN. Those are the only 3 teams in the country worse at shooting the free throw than McNeese State.
But they're super athletic. They play defense crazy.
I want to give you one more thing because this kind of stood out and is funny to me. You got to hear the schedule for McNeese so far to this point in the season. Again, Will Wade 10-game suspension, so maybe there's some coordination here. VCU, okay, that's a real team. Then they took on Biblical Studies, Champion Christian, and Latorno, who are all, I would assume, D2 schools. They then took on.
I was watching some Latornos in incognito mode,
and then seriously, you got to be careful with those.
When you watch the Latorno game, make sure you're in incognito mode.
You might get in trouble. Then they took on a shout out to Weehawk, Western Carolina.
Yeah, they're good this year.
Then you got Texas State again,
who they beat. That was surprising to me.
And then Louisiana Tech, UAB, Tennessee Martin, and then the 10th game that Will Wade won't coach in against MUW. There's not even a link. I don't know what.
Here's the problem for the NCAA. If you're gonna suspend them 10 games, they're gonna go out of their way to add Champion Christian.
It's got to be 10. It's got to be 10 Division I games. Like they have 4 teams in Division II on their fucking schedule.
It might even be D3. I don't like something like. I am curious. Biblical Studies.
The KenPom projection on the MUW game that's on December 5th is already a W. For McNeese State. So, all right. Let's go. Will Wade's kind of an unspoken father figure for Colby. So I'm gonna go with him here.
They are D2 though. I think Biblical Studies is a brand new D2 member. Brand new. So they were recently.
These new NIL schools are going to be hilarious. Biblical Studies. We need to get.
They need to get to D1. I want to see a 16 seed Biblical Studies dub.
All right, we're on the dog. McNeese, let's go.
Let's go. Dog. Hey, holiday season's here. You might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on these jam-packed days. There's so many games to watch, traveling, the hassle. There's so many times you find yourself like, I wish I had something easy. You don't want to get fast food. That stuff is shit. But you get the ready to eat meal delivery service, AKA Factor Meals. If you're watching on YouTube, look at those meals. You got some shrimp, chicken, Brussels sprouts. There's just so many good meals, and it's really nutritious. You can choose from 35 plus weekly, different flavor packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. So my wife's a vegetarian. I am not a vegetarian. They make it super easy to order some stuff, whatever you're into. And it's not like, so these aren't your grandfather's frozen meals. These are, again, always fresh and premium ingredients: broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, asparagus. Oh, I'm getting hungry just reading these things. And they have ready to go breakfast, perfect for an NFL Sunday. Head to factormeals.com/SGPN50 and use code SGPN50 to get 50% off. Try these meals. You will enjoy, and they taste good. I mean, no prep meals ready in just 2 minutes that taste good and 50% off. That's code SGPN50 at factormeals.com/SGPN50 to get 50% off. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. You looking to optimize some parlays this season? Of course you are. You love parlays. That's why you're listening to the show. We love parlays, and I love getting an edge on my parlays. That's why I use Hall of Fame Bets Revolutionary Parlay Optimizer. You get the hit rates broken down by leg, as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. You can sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot, which picks have some value. Very easy to use and super, super helpful. Saves you a ton of time looking up props, getting your parlays going. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN50 to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. You're right over there, Ryan?
That was refreshing. No, I was going to make a always fresh, never soggy joke during the Factor read. I need to get Factor needs to sponsor Cereal. His Cereal's Discord name only. It's beautiful. 5 p.m. I know you're currently not. You're fighting with Cereal, but
no, he's a Cowboys fan.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you're currently not on good terms, just like you're not on good terms with Katie Mox this week.
Oh no!
I fired unrelated to college basketball. I'm like, hey Katie, it's Niners Eagles week. Got to get on the show, and then Sean and Katie immediately started fighting with gifs and memes.
I did enjoy that Eagle fan that was like 5 years old telling that one guy to fuck off.
Yeah, so I also enjoy that. Here's my issue with that. If the Bills fan knocks the shit out of the Eagles fan,
that's uncalled for.
It's uncalled for. Okay.
No. Everything's legal.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but there was a little kid going to like pretend shake a hand to the Bills fan. Bills fan goes out and he does this and then gives him the bird.
Was good.
That's awesome.
So follow up to that, the Eagles fan that's talking shit to a Bills player, that's crazy. And I would have loved to see him get his shit pushed in.
Yeah,
can't.
That's always fun.
I think we should allow players to fight fans.
Oh, 100%.
That would be a great revenue.
You're out of your fucking mind. You're talking shit to a defensive lineman.
Are you
kidding me?
That is kind of fun though. That's a part of.
No, it shouldn't be during the game, Sean. It should be the next day.
They're
at home. Someone knocks on their front door, and it's a tackle.
My issue is that you've clearly not been punched in the face. Like that they can't do anything,
or
to you,
they can't punch you.
It's a suing culture out there.
But that's a bitch move. Like that's a bitch move.
Yeah, I feel like the judge should throw that case out anytime that comes in.
It's just a bitch move. Like if you're gonna put yourself in a scenario where that's when you need to get knocked out. That's why what Ron Artest did was fucking heroic work.
Oh, 100%. Vernon Maxwell was actually the first.
No,
Maxwell.
People forget the Jermaine O'Neal part of it, which probably the better clip when the fan comes running full speed and just meets a Jermaine O'Neal like 6'10" right hook and just goes immediately down.
Dude, I'm telling you, Vernon Maxwell, when he was on the Houston Rockets, I think they were playing the Portland Trailblazers, and I think he has since tweeted out the story behind this. Is like this guy said some shit about his mom to him.
Yeah.
So Vernon Maxwell just goes up to like the 7th row, punches the dude right in the face, gets kicked out of the game.
I would say that a lot of things get sorted out in civilization if all words are said to each other in a dark alleyway.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Look, it started with protecting the quarterback. You know what I mean? It started with protecting the quarterback.
No, this is
You're a fucking football player.
This isn't protecting
right?
the quarterback. This is the idea.
It's the same thing. You're protecting the fans.
It's not.
Right?
It's
Utah State, St. Louis.
It's a litigious society where certain fans take liberties upon themselves to be fucking dickheads, and I would love to see them all get punched in the face.
There's a connection between there and protecting the quarterback.
Well, I mean, you can go to it, but they're legislating fights out of elementary school too, so you don't actually ever get to resolve anything. Utah State heads to St. Louis to take on St. Louis. St. Louis laying a point here. We had a little pre-production meeting with producer Josh telling us all this great stuff about Utah State. I assume they're on here because you want to tell us how A, they keep a good program, or maybe that's just a football thing, and B,
they do keep a good program. And look, I thought that maybe it was a rebuilding year because their whole team transferred out to VCU with Odom. But then, they went out. Danny Sprinkle that money line. All right. He's their new head coach coming over from Montana State, and he's done a fantastic job. And you watch them.
He's a Bobcat.
I don't know if they're going to close the dog, but I'm with you. Utah State, pretty good. And you look at the advanced numbers, like St. Louis, one of the worst shooting teams in the college basketball, and also 19.5% offensive rebounding. Like you can, you're in the 350s. That's horrible.
Oh yeah, Colby got this one wrong.
Yeah,
we got
at St. Louis. Is that because Sincere Parker's out? I had a hard time judging this because the leading scorer for St. Louis.
I think it's probably reckless for us to make St. Louis the favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are we gonna make it? Utah State -3?
I'm looking at a number of different projections, and no one has Utah State not favored. So I would say at minimum we make it like Utah State -1.5, okay. 1.5.
You think that's related though to Parker being out?
I don't know. I think early in the season it's sometimes hard for the projections to incorporate injury, and with basketball it can have massive effect. So
So I will take Utah State regardless because I believe in fading Travis Ford. And shout out to the Utah State leading scorer, Great Osobor.
The list of names of me. Let's see. Let's pronounce Great. His first name's Great. He's going on the list. Great. I love the way that our generation has really fucked up names. They said, you know what? Traditional names, get out of here. We're gonna make up whatever the fuck we want.
I'm okay. They can fuck up all the names. Just stop fucking up football.
Imagine you show up to school and Great.
Yeah.
Great. Are you here? Great. I am here. Thank you. Yeah, I'm Utah State. We were always going to take Utah State after the.
I just believe in fading Travis Ford. I mean, that's something that goes back quite a ways. So yeah, right. I'm interested to see what this line's going to be though, because I do think
where do you play it up?
St. Louis has a great home court advantage, but at the same time they're missing their leading scorer. So it's interesting to see where this one falls.
Yeah, I'll go Utah State. I mean, just the St. Louis shooting numbers. I cannot back that team even as a home dog here.
It's not the typical St. Louis team, you know.
Kramer, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm fading it too. That's why I brought up the line change. I didn't want to be disrespectful and pick something that was never going to exist in the wild. Enjoy St. Louis, Discord. NC State heads to Oxford, Mississippi to take on Ole Miss. 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Ole Miss kind of screwed us last time we talked college basketball, Colby. It was both of our locks.
Should have hit.
Felt like a little bit of one of the few losses. Felt like got robbed a little bit. Probably has worked out for the better for me anyway. NC State, like I said, catching a point here. NC State just again, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, always find a way to just when I see their name, when I see the Wolfpack logo, when I see either of their coaches, I just want to get off of that situation.
They just underachieve, but at the same time, man, Ole Miss. I was higher on Ole Miss this year, assuming they were going to get Musa Cisse and Brandon Murray, but with the NCAA blocking their waivers, I think you got to take NC State here.
I'm going to keep going with Chris Beard. Again, I hear you with the talent, but I'm a Chris Beard guy. Ever since he was vindicated, he was freed. They let him play. I mean, again, we were excited about this guy 2 years ago. Can't just walk away.
I just think like the better roster is NC State, so I'll take DJ Burns.
Is that accurate? He took a year off.
You're taking NC State, Colby. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's filthy.
Ole Miss hasn't
filthy
lost,
play by me.
Ole Miss hasn't lost a game, and they're only laying a point at home.
But like, this is why they're not very good though, dude. Like, okay, they beat Alabama State by 10. Right in the opener, they beat Detroit, who sucks, by 1. They beat Sam Houston State by 3. They beat Temple by 1.
What year is this?
Temple was on the road.
This is year 1.
Philly's a tough place to go.
Brick by brick.
I'm on the pack.
Has he beaten anyone up yet? Done anything bad?
Well, it's Oxford, Mississippi.
They don't have rules like Texas.
The police are on board with the university.
Yeah, you think if the situation that happened in Texas happens in Mississippi, do we ever hear about it?
Well, if it was Texas like 30 years ago, we never would have found out about it. But now Texas, 6th Street's killing them. They're bringing in all the music crowd.
Matthew McConaughey, Minister of Culture, he wanted to clean things up. Yeah, give me Ole Miss is the play here. Good luck with your NC State. You hate NC State. What
I know.
Doing,
I just think there's a much better team.
Colby's pick stinks here, like Courtney Love. Clemson heads to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to take on Roll Tide, Crimson Tide. Alabama laying 8, 6:30 on the West Coast.
You might even see this at 9.
Really?
I was.
You were thinking about popping it up a little bit.
Just a home edge there, but I don't know. I feel like let's keep it at 8 and see. Let's see.
Yeah, I would say my bet would be it's going to close higher than 8. So why don't we make it? You said 9. We'll make it 9.
Okay.
To be honest with ourselves, Clemson, another one of those ACC teams. Hard to want to get behind. I know they're undefeated this year. Haven't really played anyone. Almost lost to UA. I feel like last time we talked about him, we were fading him with UAB.
Is the heat in the hat for Alabama this year? Have they been involved in any?
Oh wow!
Not. It's early. Last year was January. Normally by the third month, you'll have your crimes all laid out there for you.
Nice win over Oregon.
Nice win over Oregon, but N'Faly Dante was out, like I projected in the beginning of the season with Oregon. I actually think give me the points. I think Clemson's they're like the veteran team here, where Alabama's the young team that's got some big time players, but
you can't trust Nate Oates early in the season.
Yeah,
they play NBA ball. It's variance
and laying this big number. Clemson's a decent team. They've looked good. I guess this is their first true road game, but I mean, I think 9 points. Is that where? Yeah, 9 points.
Could Alabama get hot?
Sure, they play that Paul Westhead offense, so I mean they could win by 30. But at the same time, I just feel like Clemson's a veteran team. This will be their toughest test yet.
Let's go, Clemson.
You know what? That was half-assed. Give me Alabama.
You weren't sold on Colby.
I hate Clemson. I don't know what I was thinking. Akron has the UNLV. Or it has the Vegas to take on UNLV.
You hate taking dogs around.
They've been in Vegas though.
No.
They played a Vegas tournament.
Oh, so they stayed.
Yeah.
Akron's been having some fun out in Vegas. Now they're taking on UNLV. UNLV laying 5.5.
Didn't they play a Vegas tournament? Am I fucking?
I'm double checking this. Yeah, they were neutral in.
Maybe I was thinking of Toledo.
This looks like an island.
Yeah,
no, they were.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Toledo.
What is this? The Cayman Islands?
Yeah, they were on the islands. Yeah.
Okay. There's a city called Rum Point on the island. That's awesome. All right. So they're going from vacationing in the islands to Las Vegas. Can I tell you something about humidity? Will not treat you well if you go from humid to dry all at once, and it's cold in the desert now. That weird Santa Ana winds are blowing with the debris. 0% chance I'm taking Akron in this spot. I'm a humidity expert. This is a bad spot. I need to start tracking this kind of information. This is a bad spot for Akron. They're from Ohio. They love the humidity. They're not going to be able to deal with this dry air. They're going to be breathing heavy. They're going to have maybe some bloody noses during halftime. Lay the points. UNLV. Love the Rebels.
UNLV is kind of all over the place. They lost to Southern at home.
Who is this fucking team?
They beat Stetson.
Oh, that's a good win.
They're supposed to be good this year. They're 2-3 right now,
but then back-to-back losses to Florida State and Richmond.
They got drilled by Richmond, which is concerning to me. Which is why I think we should play the Zips. I said this this is SGP's show this year. I know Ali didn't get that waiver, so he's got to sit out a year.
Fuck.
But
so stupid.
Enrique Freeman, dog. Yeah. All right. Greg Tribble, Sammy Hunter. They're gonna be the difference. So give me the Zips in Vegas.
I think Akron could be a live dog. This UNLV team, this pricing doesn't make sense.
Damn it! And this
give me Akron all
this
day.
Michael or McCall Dawson that we were talking about before the show.
Oh yeah,
that may resemble Jimmy Butler, and his first name happens to be Michael.
Dog. There we go.
Could it be that there's a second kid, illegitimate kid from Michael? I mean, he I don't know if Josh can zoom in, but he does have resemblance. It's a little further off. It's a little further off than our guy Jimmy Butler, but so I guess I can't fade Akron then. I want to fade Akron.
All the supposed Michael Jordan kids are way better at basketball than Michael Jordan's actual kids.
Yeah, his kids went to like UCF and barely played or something like that. I'm supposed to take Akron then, huh?
Yes.
All right, give me Akron.
Akron's a live dog.
I'm all over the place. I'm also picking games like a fucking stud right now, so.
Kramer, time for the lock dog bonus lock. What do you got?
Do I go first?
Yep.
Okay.
It's part of the bit.
Give me. Don't have a strong feeling about a lot of these games. Mississippi State laying the points.
Ooh. Okay.
It's gonna. Again, this is like strapping it in to watch Deshaun Watson try to score from the 18-yard line. It's gonna be electric the entire time. Lock number 2. Ugh. I want to take Miami in these points. I think there's a situation there. Dog recruiting win. Will Wade knows how to get it done. McNeese stayed on the money line.
Wow.
Whew. UAB screwed me earlier in the year. Had him on a dog. They blew a game.
That is a big dog.
No, you go big or go home. Also, did not have a ton of dogs. Thought about going Akron, but.
All right, for me, let's see. I do. Man, I'm with you. I like Miami +7. It's boring, but 7 feels way too high.
Feel free to copy me.
I will. And then for my other, let's see, what are some other? I like going consensus. I don't know if I want to be that tied to Wagner.
Wagner.
Let's see, Miami +7. I'll also go. Why is this harder than usual? Utah State.
The slate. We'll blame Colby. Not a lot of teams we really love. Not too many easy plays.
Then Akron on the money line. UNLV doesn't deserve to be this big of a favorite. They're a lap dog for sure. Colby, right, what do you got?
Which one of my locks will Colby copy today?
Ooh, well, I will lock up. Let's go Utah State.
Oh, I thought about that one.
The dog is the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep.
In Rupp Arena. I don't give a shit if Ashley Judd's there. All right.
She still go to the games?
She's still going to the games.
That's good for
her. Maybe Calipari doing something on the no, I'm joking. Then the bonus lock here is going to be NC State.
Oh wow. Going against us. Interesting. You're mad at Ole Miss from screwing the lock last time. That's an emotional pick. Discord has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays.
Discord's on Georgia Tech, Providence, Missouri, Kentucky, UAB, St. Louis, and UNLV and the Running Rebels. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back doubleheader Monday after the Monday Night Football, talking college football. A little football action here. Make sure you subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Check them out on YouTube. That it is an electric live show. And toss us a nice rating review. I got some gift cards burning a hole in my pocket. Always appreciate the love there on the reviews.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Get in Sean's pocket.
Kramer, let it ride.